Well, well, well. What do we have here? Someone's finally regaining consciousness, huh? Took you long enough. Mortals are seriously fragile things these days. You should take better care of yourself if you're going to be out adventuring in the deep dark woods all alone. No need to look so alarmed. I'm not gonna hurt you or something. Here, look. I'll even be nice and I'll lift the paralysis spell on you. Move about as you please. I wasn't trying to keep you here, silly. You kept thrashing around in your sleep, and I'd prefer it if you didn't knock over everything on my nightstand. Alright? God, you people always jump to the wildest conclusions, and yet you still have the audacity to call us witches the unreasonable ones. One little mention of a witch and you've gone gray. What's wrong? You're all nervous. Well, you can stop looking at me like I'm going to eat you. That's an old wives' tale, you fool. Besides, a scaredy cat like you would probably give me indigestion. You're shivering. Are you cold? Or just afraid? Huh. Both. I see. Fragile. How about I give you something to warm you up then? Here, take this. I said take this. Did that sound like a suggestion? Oh, you don't want my poison potions. Oh my, is that why you're so squeamish? It's hot chocolate. No need to look so worried. Don't tell me you've never had hot chocolate before. Seems like the exact kind of thing you'd drink in the palace all the time. What? Did you really think I wouldn't piece it together, Your Majesty? Come on now. I might live in the middle of the woods, but even I recognize the next heir to the throne. No, I'll admit, seeing you in my territory was a surprise. Not an unwelcome one, though. Why, yes, my territory. Come on. Didn't your nannies tell you stories about the Wicked Witch of the East Woods? So that rung a bell. Pleased to make your acquaintance. It's been a long time since I've seen a mortal face, much less such an esteemed one. Though I did hear news of a kidnapped royal. Trees, they're gossipy little things. However, from where I'm standing, you look a lot more like someone on the run rather than someone that's being kidnapped. Why is that? Please, least you could do is tell me your amusing little story, considering I did save your life. Fair is fair, right? Come on. Duty, obligation, debts, aren't all those supposed to mean something to your kind? Come on now. You must have your reasons. Oh, I see. So you did run away. Hence the little backpack and the poor attempt at a peasant disguise. Of course, darling. I saw through that the minute I laid eyes on you. Haven't you ever heard the saying, royal blood is the crown you never take off? Besides, maybe next time, stoop down a little more, as though life hasn't been handed to you, all right? Now go on. Oh my. So you fled for your life, lest you die at the hands of your power-hungry siblings. Huh. Well, isn't that a cruel fate for your brief life? How tragic. Well, you have nothing to fear for the time being. Of all the places to run to, in some ways you chose a good one. Everyone else in the court knows that to step foot in these woods is essentially signing your own death certificate. Why, yes, Your Highness. I would lay waste to them with glee. Oh? And why did I not do so to you? Well, in truth, I did plan to. You've been wandering around the woods for days and days and seemed as though you'd perish. And yet, you made no move to harm any of those little living creatures here for the sake of your survival. Fascinating. I was curious. And when you collapsed, I was left with the choice of either leaving you to your fate or intervening. Needless to say, even I can make foolish choices. What? Is that not reason enough? Fine, as you wish. In truth, I wanted to see if I was right. If the rumors that the trees spoke of were true. That the bloody history of the royal court had continued on. It would seem so. How pathetic. Why am I so hateful? That's a bold question for someone in your position. Tell me, what did the stories they told you say of me? That I'm an undying scourge upon the land that yields the forest impassable? Ah, seems I've struck a nerve. How charming. A poison legacy to be the last nail in the coffin. Your family really is something, you know. Why, of course I know your family. I know them well, in fact. Tell you the tale? What an odd little royal you are. No wonder they wanted to bleed you out like a lamb. Fine. It's not as though I have anyone else to tell it to. We witches, magicians, sorcerers, take your pick. We all have one thing in common. An accursedly long life. Needless to say, when I was young, things were a little different. Long before there was a wicked witch, I was a member of the court that you called home. Though, of course, I wasn't royal, I was a maid. After all, anyone with magic knows it's best to live a life unseen, undetected, and most of all, untaken advantage of. Over time, I was charged with the care of the royal archives. Dusting, keeping things in order. You know, pretty tame stuff. And at the time, there was one, a lot like yourself, who would often frequent the records rooms. He was next in line for the throne too, their shiny little crown prince. So bright and so clever for his age. He was a lot more than that, though. He was kind. Kind to the point of naivety. A sweet fool. Poor bastard never saw the knife in his back coming. I did, though, and I couldn't stop it. Were it not for the royal mage, I'd have leveled that wretched little castle you call home. At the time, though, my magic was feeble, weak in comparison to his. I managed to flee here, and have been left in solitude, or exile, depending on how you look at it. Are you satisfied? Now that you know the miserable tale of both myself and the man who would have been your great-uncle. No, we weren't friends. Needless to say, he didn't realize I existed. But a pure heart is hard to come by. Back then, and even more so now. It's hard not to take notice. Though I can only assume his name has been as tarnished as mine. You know, considering the ways of your kin. So, what do you think of your legacy, Your Highness? Are you still proud? That's a silly question. It seems that betrayal runs in your veins, right? So much for family ties. How about now then? What are you going to do? If you like, I'll give you a spell to guide you through the woods. It'll be a long journey, but there are paths without peril, if you know the right way to go. No? What's this then? Seems there's still a spark in you, huh? How charming. Well, what can I do for you? What? You expect me to believe that you came here seeking me out? Now that is a sentiment I've never heard before. Not in all my days. All right, go on then. Why are you seeking me? A charm? What for? Oh, for vengeance. You're more bold than you appear. I see. So you seek revenge on those who wronged you, and you would go so far as to find the witch from your scary stories to do so. Brave. Or foolish, but nonetheless, endearing. So tell me then, little royal, what will you do with my blessing? Wreak havoc. How poetic. I'm afraid, though, I can't offer you a charm. I suppose it is true that I have nothing to lose by making you one. But still, I'd hate to miss the show. No, I won't be giving you a charm. I'll offer you one better. An alliance. What do you say? You and I seek out our vengeance together. So quickly. So certain. All right. Hold out your hand. Palm up. Why, thank you. This might sting a little bit. Sorry, darling, but I did warn you. What was that? It's just a rune of promise. You and I will align ourselves to lay waste to your conniving relatives. Easy as that. This just ensures that if you decide to make good on your history and, betray me, well, let's just say you should only do so if you aren't looking to keep that hand. All right? I look forward to what's to come. Let's make them pay, all right? Consider it done.